Lesson 59. So, Catherine, this particular word is spelled, it's just a vowel sound, really. It's just epsilon iota, and it's a diphthong, smooth breathing, with a circumflex over it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could sound something like a.
Yeah.
So we've learned that a-me is an enclitic, and it wants to give away its accent. But this particular one is not an enclitic, so it's going to hang on to its accent, which is a circumflex. So this word is not going to change. It's always going to be the same.
Mm-hmm. And so even though it is related to a-me in meaning, because a-me is I am and a is you are, just because they're related does not mean that they are always going to reflect each other in certain features. So a-me is enclitic, but a is not.
This is the only present tense verb of being that's not an enclitic.
Yes. So this one has its own accent that it keeps. It doesn't matter what the words around it are. And that's very different from a-me, which we've seen earlier.
So in ancient Greek, if you want to say you are, and you're just talking to one person, this is the word that you would say. If you want to say you are to more than one person, that's a different word. You have to have a plural verb for that. But this is a singular verb in the sense that it's only talking to one person.
Mm-hmm.
So as in our example sentence here, if you're talking to one person and you want to say you are a farmer, in ancient Greek, you could say georgos.
Right.
You are a farmer.
Right. And just like with the other sentences we've been playing with, you can also switch it around with georgose, and it would still mean the same thing.
Exactly. You can change the word order around, and it's still a perfectly legitimate Greek sentence. Let's take them through a few of these exercises. In number 1, we see our new word for this lesson being negated by the word not, which in Greek is ouk. So ouk says, you are not. And along with the word kadmos, it says, you are not Cadmus.
And then number 2, there's no negation. It's just iatros, so you are a doctor.
And then in number 3, the exact same sentence as number 2, but with reversed word order.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it would say, a doctor you are. But that word order doesn't matter. It's still saying the same thing, that you are a doctor. Possibly, if someone writes that or says that, they could be wanting to emphasize the word doctor. And one last quick observation. When there's no article in front of a noun, like in number 3, we just have iatros. You would render that as a doctor. If it had a definite article in front of it, like ho, you could say the doctor.
Right. So number 4 is e georgos kai didaskalos. So here we have you are a, but then 2 things joined by kai, and. So you are a farmer and a teacher.
I think he grows his crops on Monday, and then on Tuesday he goes over to the school and does some teaching.
Perhaps he teaches about farming.
Yes, he's a teacher of agriculture. Let's do one last exercise. Number 5 says ouk me. That means I am not. And philosophos says philosopher. Again, notice that it does not have an article. It's not ho philosophos, the philosopher. It's just philosophos without an article. So we can translate it as a philosopher. And so number 5 says, I am not a philosopher.